Mr. Harris.
Hey. Yeah. Here?
Yeah, there's great.
Okay.
Just make yourself comfortable.
Yeah.
So you about ready to begin?
Sure. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you tell us what happened?
It was just a normal day, really. Nothing special. Just woke up and ate eggs, and then I just came in to drum and start writing, and I don't know. I started playing, and everything was going fine, and all of a sudden I realized I 4/3'd myself.
Okay, it might not seem like it, but this little pattern is very tough. Check it out.
Alright, so let me give you some context. About a year ago, I started this idea, and frankly, I just never finished it. It's just been sitting on my hard drive, and I decided to finally pull it out and see if I could try and program it for sensory percussion. The initial idea I had with this part was to play this dotted quarter note synth part in my right hand on the floor tom. But the thing about writing sometimes is you're just going off intuition and feel, and sometimes you're maybe not always as aware of the technical or theoretical choices you're making for your parts. So after I recorded that synth pattern, I just went back in and started to write in MIDI notes for a melody. And honestly, it wasn't even until I opened this year that I even realized I just 4/3'd myself. What you just heard is a 4/3 polyrhythm. A polyrhythm is a combination of two or more rhythms being played simultaneously. And 4/3 just means that you have 4 notes fitting perfectly inside the value of 3 notes.
So playing a 4/3 polyrhythm honestly is not that new to me. However, in this situation, it's a little different because this requires me to, 1, play this at 140 beats per minute. Yeah, no, I can't play it that fast. And 2, I'm only playing select partials of the polyrhythm across 4 beats. So you might be asking yourself what a partial is. Well, a partial is any, what the hell is a partial? A partial is partial. So a partial is, So a partial refers to each individual note that makes up a rhythmic system. So basically we have 4 16th notes, which we count as 1 E and 3 triplet partials, 1 E or 1 E and. Honestly, this really just depends on semantics, and it's kind of an individual thing in regards to triplets. I've used 1 E and or 1 E at different times, and it all works for me. So choose whatever's best for you and easiest to communicate to the people around you. Breaking down this pattern, we have the continuous quarter note triplet in the right hand, playing that synth like I mentioned, and the left hand is playing the 1 and on beat 1, a rest on beat 2, the 1 E on beat 3, and the and on beat 4. Now, if you're like me, you probably were thinking to yourself, dude, why don't you just make this easier on yourself and like play triplets in the left hand? Yes. I tried that too. I tried that immediately, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. To demonstrate, I've made 2 other variations of this 16th note passage. The first one is based in triplets, and the second one is based in sextuplets. So let's just take a look at the 16th note variation for a refresh. As you can see, the first beat has our 8th note being played on the 1 and the and. The second beat, we don't have anything. Beat 3, the 1 E.
And beat 4, the and with a release on the downbeat of the next measure. Let's just hear how that sounds. Cool, awesome. Let's go up.
Duck.
So for the triplet version, I basically just tried to create more space between the notes. So I put the 8th note instead on the 1st and 3rd triplet partial, the 16th note of beat 3, 1st and 2nd partial, and the 16th note of beat 4 onto the 2nd and 3rd partial. Let's just hear what that sounds like. So this triplet version feels very clean to me. It's much more open, it locks in well with the synth quarter note triplet, but in general, there's just kind of something missing. Sometimes when you're writing, you just don't know why you're not enjoying something, even though everything technically works together, but it just seems a little bit predictable to me for the most part. Let's move on to the 6-tuplet version and see how we like that one. So with the 6-tuplet version, I've tried to actually add more compression to this and go the other direction from the triplet version. So in B1, I've taken the 2nd note and I've moved it up to the 3rd 6-tuplet partial, which is the 2nd triplet partial. Beat 3, I've put the 2nd note on the 2nd 6-tuplet partial. And beat 4, I've squashed those last 2 notes into the 5th and 6th 6-tuplet partial. Now, that was a lot. Let's hear how that sounds. So this just feels really rushed to me. It feels like very anxious, and it's difficult to really follow along as a listener with it. So let's now compare all of that to the original, which is the 16th note version. So at this point, it's really a toss-up between the 16th note and the triplet. If you forget how those sounds, let's just A-B those. It's amazing how such a small rhythmic change can lend itself to a massive difference in feel. I honestly like the 16th note version much more than the triplet version. The triplet version is fine, but it just feels a little bit predictable and a little bit sterile to me. Whereas the 16th note version has this effect of like a passionate speech. So when somebody speaks passionately, they start to almost rush or lean forward with their words and try and chase their ideas with their speech. That's totally the effect that I'm getting here, and I love that. It offers a little bit of suspension to the moment, and it creates some healthy tension that the section really needs.
So this was really difficult for me to get in the beginning, but in order to accomplish it and get it up to tempo at 140, I created some simplified exercises in order to do it. So let's break those exercises down now, and let's see if you can learn how to play these types of patterns for yourself.
Complete 4/3 adds 60 beats per minute. Just the first 2 partials of the triplet adds 60. The 1st and 3rd partial of the triplet adds 60. Now full quarter note triplet adds 60. Just the 8th note on beat 1 over the quarter note triplet. Just the 2 16th notes on beat 3 over the quarter note triplet. Last 2 16th notes of beat 4 over the quarter note triplet. the full pattern at 60 beats per minute. Now the full pattern at 100 beats per minute. Same thing at 120. At tempo 140.
Sometimes when we're working on music, accidents and mistakes can actually end up being some of our best ideas. I don't think I'd ever have written this intentionally, and I'd never considered using partials of polyrhythms to create feels and textures until I discovered this mistake part that I made. So this small accident from lack of oversight now has me wondering what else could be possible with this approach. My advice to you or any musician is to stay open-minded to experimentation and mistake. Your best ideas can often come from the most unexpected places, and it's important to keep pursuing them before passing judgment on whether they're good or not. Thank you so much for watching, and go make something.